To save your world, would you be willing to destroy the one outside of it? Or would you be willing to destroy yourself? This isn't just some abstract philosophical question. This is the definitive choice that separates two of the greatest tyrants and most tragic saviors in modern storytelling, Eren Yeager and Lelouch v. Britannia. They are, without a doubt, two of the most iconic anti-heroes ever written. Both were victims of a cruel world. Both were granted an almost godlike power, and both made the conscious decision to become the ultimate villain, soaking their hands in the blood of millions to force the world to change. But that is where the similarities end.
When you peel back the layers of mass destruction, what you find isn't two identical monsters. You find two completely opposing philosophies. This is the collision of Eren's terrifying absolutism versus Lelouch's cold, calculated utilitarianism. Lelouch's entire plan, the Zero Requiem, was built on a single question: how can I sacrifice the few to save the many? And in his mind, the few included his own life, his own happiness, and his own humanity. Eren's plan, the Rumbling, was also built on a question, but a much different one. How can I protect my people, even if it costs the entire world? Both men became tyrants. Both became symbols of mass destruction, but they did it for fundamentally different reasons. So today, we're not just asking who is stronger, we're asking a much more important question. Who was truly the necessary evil, and whose philosophy, in the end, was the right one?
To figure this out, we have to look at what truly drove them.
Point 1. The drive. Freedom versus order. What is scarier? A world where you are not free, or a world where you might not live to see tomorrow? At its core, Eren's motivation is almost childishly simple, and that's what makes it so terrifyingly absolute. It's a single sentence: I was born into this world. His drive is freedom. Pure, unfiltered, uncompromising freedom. He doesn't just want to be free himself. He is enraged by the very idea that anyone or anything could try to take that freedom away from his people. He is a force of nature, a hurricane of pure will. He isn't fighting to control fate. He is fighting against it. Lelouch is the exact opposite. His drive isn't freedom, it's order. Lelouch's motivation is external. He wants to create a gentle world for his sister, Nunnally. He doesn't want to rage against the system. He wants to hijack the system and force it to create peace. He is not a hurricane. He is a grandmaster chess player. While Eren fights to defy destiny, Lelouch fights to control it. He meticulously designs the future he wants, one move at a time. This core difference in their drive leads directly to their methods.
Point 2. The method, the destroyer versus the deceiver. What weapon do you choose? A steel fist that crushes everything in its path, or a velvet glove that manipulates every puppet on the string? Eren's method is the Rumbling. It is primal, absolute, irreversible violence. It is pure brute force. He sees the complex, centuries-old problem of global hatred, and his solution is to simply erase the problem. He doesn't want to win the game of global politics. He wants to flip the board over and set it on fire. He is the destroyer. Lelouch's method is the Zero Requiem. It is pure intellect, psychological warfare, and mass manipulation. He uses his Geass not to kill everyone, but to control everyone. He doesn't want to erase the problem, he wants to solve it, like a horrific mathematical equation. He agrees to play the game knowing he has to become the most evil piece on the board in order to win. He is the deceiver. And this difference in their method is everything. It leads to two completely different legacies. Point 3. The legacy. Focused hate versus diffused fear. What is a true legacy? The peace you create, or the hatred you are willing to take upon yourself? Lelouch's legacy is the Zero Requiem. It is, for lack of a better word, a perfect play. He understood something fundamental about humanity. People will only unite when they have a common enemy to hate. So, what did he do? He became that enemy. He voluntarily focused all the hatred, all the anger, and all the fear of the entire planet onto one single person, the Demon Emperor, Lelouch v. Britannia. And then, in a globally televised spectacle, he had Zero, the symbol of justice, strike him down. The moment he died, he didn't just end a war, he absolved the world of their sins. He took all their hate with him to the grave. His death united the world in a shared peace, built on the lie that the ultimate evil had finally been vanquished. Arun's legacy is far more complicated. The rumbling killed 80% of humanity, but it didn't unite anyone. He didn't focus the world's hatred, he simply eliminated the majority of his haters. He left behind a terrified, shattered world and an isolated island, Paradis, which was now seen as the devils who had scorched the earth. He didn't solve the cycle of hatred, he just pressed pause by committing the single greatest atrocity in human history. He left his own friends to clean up the mess, hoping, just hoping, that this temporary peace would last.
Now, let's be honest here. We have to challenge this. Was Lelouch's plan truly sustainable? Or was the Zero Requiem just a temporary painkiller? It was a beautiful, elegant lie. But lies, by their very nature, eventually crumble. How long until a new conflict starts? How long until the peace he bought with his life expires? And on Eren's side, what other choice did he really have? Let's be real. He saw the future. He knew diplomacy had failed and would always fail. He knew that the world would never stop trying to exterminate his people. Perhaps Lelouch's elaborate plan was just naive idealism, and Eren's brutal solution was the only realism that mattered. Maybe the rumbling was the only move he had left.
This debate really boils down to what you believe is more correct. Lelouch is a perfect, if twisted, example of utilitarianism. He used people and himself as means to an end. He calculated that the suffering of millions in a global war was worth sacrificing to achieve a purpose: world peace. Eren is a perfect example of Nietzsche's will to power. He is a man who imposes his own will onto the world, creating his own morality simply because he has the power and the conviction to do so. He doesn't care about the world's purpose. He cares only about his own absolute ideal: freedom. So, who is the ultimate anti-hero? Is it the man who sacrificed his image and his humanity to save the world? Or is it the man who sacrificed the world to save his own people? Let me know in the comments which philosophy, Lelouch's grand deception or Eren's terrible truth, you actually think was the right call.
In the end, Lelouch died as a symbol that he himself created. He was in complete control, from his first move to his last breath. Eren died as a monster that the world had forced him to become. He was a slave to a future he couldn't change, even as he fought for freedom. Lelouch wanted to change the minds of humanity. Eren wanted to change the reality of the world. And the question I want to leave you with is this: which one of those is harder to change
And which one is more dangerous when it finally succeeds?